Second question for today, and it'll be our final one. Do animals go to heaven when they die? And if not, what would God have you say to a child who's grieving the loss of a pet?
All right, so two separate questions.
Two questions.
What do I say to a kid who's grieving a pet?
Yeah.
And do animals go to heaven?
I've answered this in a sermon at one time. It was one of those sermons where
you asked
it's like
for it
top question. Yeah, you asked for it, or FAQ, or one of those types of.
I think we can know for sure there are animals in heaven.
Yes. That we know.
God loves his creation. This planet is not going away.
No.
God is making a new earth.
Yeah, let's be clear about that. We get this idea of there's earth and then there's heaven and we're going up there. No, God is coming to bring the new creation and redeem this.
God always created earth to be a place for him to commune with humans. He is going to have his way.
And let's be clear, in the story that, we're supposed to look to in Genesis for how God wanted things, before sin corrupted his creation, there was animals, and so we have every indication that in the new heaven or the new earth that everything will be as it was in the beginning, and animals were there from the beginning. So
and God loves all of his creation.
Yep.
And I think it's important. I have this conversation frequently with my daughters about all kinds of stuff. And then I actually heard, which made me feel so super wise, I heard Dallas Willard say almost the same thing.
Did you?
And I didn't realize he had said it. It made me feel so good. His version of it is obviously much more clever than mine. But I always said to my girls,
and probably less words, because everything Dallas said was in a very few words.
Yep. Yes.
But they were all packed with meaning.
Yeah. The phrase we always say to our girls is, you can't love things, you can only love people. Because, and everyone says, and they will come at you. If you say, oh, I love that food. You can't love food. You can only love.
It is one of the most repeated things Nathan's daughters say to Papa. Papa, you can't love a hamburger.
Watch me, honey.
Because what love means is that you will the good, meaning you want what you are willing to. And the way I say it to them, because they don't understand what to will something. Most of us don't understand what to will. It means you want it and you work for it. I will want and I will work for what's best for this thing. And then the way Dallas said it, which I thought was so clever, he goes, no one loves chocolate cake. They want to eat chocolate cake.
That's right.
He goes, you don't sit there and go, oh, I want what's best for this chocolate. I will sit here and admire this chocolate. You want to consume it. And that is a different thing. So here it comes to, you can love animals because you can want what's best for animals. But it's important for us, and I think this I know upsets many people, to understand that what is best for an animal is not the same that was what is best for a human. And that God did create a created order of things, and humans sit at the top of the created order. And so, does God love animals? God loves animals. God loves plants and nature and all the things. And I can love this planet. I can want what's best for this planet.
I'm supposed to.
Right, and to take care of this planet.
We're stewards of this planet.
Right. But I have to understand the proper order of those things. So when I've answered this question for students of do animals go to heaven, there will be animals in heaven. This idea, though, that we have that, my little Sparky and I are going to continue a relationship may be a misunderstanding of my current relationship with Sparky. I may have a different, the way the psychologists would use it is an anthropomorphize. I have put human-like qualities on this animal. Once again, I can love this animal without treating it as if it's a human. Yeah. And so, will I be in heaven with animals? Yes. Will it be hard for me to tell whether this is Sparky or another border collie? Maybe.
Well, what we know for sure is even relationships like marriage, Jesus makes clear those relational bonds won't be the same.
Right.
Yes, right. They'll be in their redeemed state.
They'll be in their redeemed state. That mean I'm not going to know my wife? It doesn't mean that at all, but it does means the relationships won't be the same. So I always just say to people, I don't have enough information from God to know if Sparky will be in heaven. I know there are animals in heaven. I know for sure about people. That's clear. There are individual souls and bodies of people in heaven. That I have enough information for. If I get there and find out Sparky's there, and my dogs that I knew growing up, they're there.
Okay.
And some of them were really evil dogs, and they didn't make it. Okay, and I liked them, but they were actually tricking me because there were demons in them. I don't know. There's not enough information for me to know that.
Yes.
But that's the thing. See, that what I just did where I go and they're demon dogs, see, some people don't want to do that. But if a dog has a capability of going there and they're individual, God, by his nature, I know his choice. They must have the choice to do the other too.
Great.
Well, and that's why
I'm just saying, if that's the choice you want, you got to give the dog the same
give it both
choice.
ways. That's right. You can't have it both ways.
Well, and I know we walk this line, and I'm not even, you may not know this listening to this, but we're aware because of the way that conversations around animals and certainly pets go in our society. This is kind of a tricky conversation for us.
It is.
Because we know people
I know there will be more people upset about this and on many things
than the conversation we
about.
just had about the baptism and eternal salvation of a person.
Yes.
And this is why I think it's important for us to understand it is not unloving to say that an animal doesn't have a soul. That is not because I am love. You know what's not best for an animal is to treat it like it's a person. That animal has different needs than a human being has.
Yeah.
Animals have different needs than a human being has. And
So what do you tell a child? Because
Well,
I can't talk about anthropomorphization.
Yes.
yes, yeah.
To a child. So what do I say who's grieving?
Yeah.
Have you? I know you've had animals in your home. You've had animals die. What have you said to? What age were your girls at when that happened?
They were probably too young to get into the minutia of it, to be honest. I mean, I don't remember having a serious conversation about the cat that we had that died with my girls. Now, we've since gotten animals that once they do pass, my kids will probably be grown by then. So I don't know if I'm the best. I have not had the opportunity to have this conversation with my children. So
I have not had to have. Oh no, that's actually not true. I do think one of my daughters asked. They know we're not going to have pets, and that's just our thing. And certainly pets in the home. Yeah. That's once again just
okay. You can go ahead and send those questions in. Why is Nathan not going to have pets for his daughters?
Right.
I know some of you. I just think he
you're
just
hurting those
abused
children.
and they're very upset about it. And I've told them,
they are.
if you're older and you want one, and they've told me because I'm terrified of snakes, we're going to have snakes in our home. And I said, well, then you'll have to come visit me at my home, but or put me in a home, which they may do. So, but regardless, we had a conversation, and they asked because our neighbor had a dog that died. And they said, do dogs go to heaven? And I said,
all of them.
Yeah.
There's a movie about it.
I actually think I did say that, and my wife said they don't know what you
Here's a theological treaty on dogs in heaven.
But I think what I told them was almost what I said here, which is there will be animals in heaven, but that dog doesn't have a soul. We named that dog Sparky. You know, like we named those things that and it's okay for you to be sad that this dog is
Well,
dead.
and if they do have a soul, expect to have a conversation when you get there and you say, hey, Sparky, and he goes, never my name, was never my name.
My name is Rufus, and it has been since the moment my mama gave birth to me.
I have always taken you as a trial in my life.
That's right. You've just been punishing me. Stop putting me in sweaters.
But I would have said, back to what you were
I
asking.
told them it's okay to be sad.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity, and whoever asked this question, I think it's a good opportunity to help your child learn about grief.
Yes,
in
that's
that moment.
exactly right.
In a way that it can prepare them for the ultimate grief that they're going to experience in their life when they do have a person in their life die. You can help them with those emotions and help them feel the sadness, because it is a loss. I don't take anything away from someone who loses a pet, because that is a tough loss.
Yep.
Because like you said, you love that.
You love that
pet.
animal.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you should feel something.
should
I
feel
personally
that.
do think you should feel something.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That when you lose a pet.
I mean,
that is a conversation I would have. Life is this is, again, way too much to say depending on the age of the child. Life is a series of losses.
It is.
I will invest myself in things that ultimately I cannot hold too tightly to, because things in this world are not intended to be permanent, including us. So I will love them, firmly give myself completely to them. When they go, I will hurt. Thankfully, we have a God who came and entered into that with us, and so he can understand it. You can talk to God about all of this. He won't think it's trivial you're talking to him about how much you are pained over your dog. He won't be mad about it.
No.
He will understand it. He will grieve with you. He will be there to walk through it with you. But you do need to understand, life is not a series of wins approaching all the way till we step up to all the ultimate win and we go to heaven. Life is a series of losses, and it's losing your life. It's giving away your control. It's giving. It's always. So
And
I know that again has to be translated to whatever age your child is.
Exactly. And I don't think it's violation to, if the child really wants to know, am I going to see my dog again? I'm not saying you lie to the kid and just say, absolutely, he'll be there. But you can say, I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
But maybe so.
Yeah.
And we look forward to that. But one thing I do know is that when we're where we're going, when we're in the new heaven, the new earth, then God's going to make all this pain go away.
Yes.
Everything's going to be exactly the way it's supposed to be. And yes, we will have animals, and we will enjoy His creation and help give them a vision to look forward to.
All the good in this life will be finally, firmly complete, and all loss will be over.
And see,
here's
the other thing, you talk about life being a series of losses. Part of what God intends for us how He intends for us to approach that loss is for it to cause us to long for the new creation.
That's right.
So every time we lose, whether it's a child's pet or a parent that we lose, and we will all lose our parents at some point, is to say, but you know what? A day is coming.
That's right.
When this pain, this loss, this separation that I feel will be done away with. He will wipe every tear from your eye, and everything will be right again. All wrongs will be made right. Let's look forward to that. And that's a great thing to teach a child.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
and
exactly
I just want to affirm the thing you said that's huge. And I do actually think I said this to my kids of, I don't know is a great answer for your kids in lots of different ways, in lots of different areas. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially if you don't know. But even if you're just slightly uncertain, to tell them, I don't know. Here's the thing I do know.
Exactly.
Here's the thing I do. Or here's what I think, but I don't know. And teaching your kids, it's okay for us to disagree on something. You think Sparky's going to be in heaven. I don't know.
Okay.
But here's what we know. I don't know. There's nothing that makes this a big central issue. But here's what we always do know. God loved this animal. Mm-hmm. God loves you. God's okay with you being sad. But we can always hope in the fact that one day all the sadness will be gone. I think that part of it is huge. Yep. And I think it's huge for parents. It's hard. I mean, all of us know that. It's hard when your kids look at you and want a question. You want to always have an answer.
Sure.
But sometimes the better answer, even if you think you're pretty certain, but there's nothing that makes it, it's okay for them to know uncertainty is a part of life.
Well,
absolutely.
And to be clear, we can't be certain that, just to say to the person who really loves their animal and believes they have a soul, I can't be certain you are wrong.
That's right.
I absolutely cannot. My original, when I first answered, was, I don't have enough information to answer about your animal. I know there are animals in heaven. Yep. Is it your particular animal? I don't know. I don't know that. I have plenty of it. I have all the answers I need about humans. Mm-hmm. I have almost no information from anybody who's been to heaven about your animal. Jesus doesn't mention it. No writer in the Bible mentions any of these kind of things. They do mention animals in heaven. So it's completely okay to say, honey, we really love Sparky. I know there are animals in heaven, and I know God cares about you, and we want to be with Him. And in heaven, everything's going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. There'll be no more loss. There'll be no more pain. But even now, God is with us in this.
Yeah.
That's but I wouldn't try to enforce
And I would encourage,
anything.
back to sort of something you said, Nathan, I just want to throw this out because I think it's so important for a parent to hear, because I had to learn this the hard way. It really is okay for you to not have all the answers for your kids.
Yeah.
And it is okay for you to show weakness and confusion and all of those things in front of your kids. You have no idea how much of a teacher that is, as your competence is. And I've learned that over the years. And the reason I bring this up, because I just had a conversation with my senior daughter who's about to go away to college. And I had this conversation. I said, honey, I don't need to tell you this, but I have not been the perfect dad. I really messed up in some ways, and I know you know that. We don't have to go over those. And I just want you to know I did my best, and I want you to learn from those mistakes as much as you learn from the stuff that I got right. And I'll be honest with you, it was one of the best conversations that I probably have had in the 18 years that I've had my daughter. Yeah. And so if you get stuck and you feel like, oh, my kids asked me a question, if I don't have an answer, I'm going to look like a bad parent. You're not. You're going to look like a human parent, somebody they can relate to, and honestly somebody they can respect. So
Well, and like everybody else in grief, trying to get the person to jump out of grief by giving them something and I know you want to because you love your kid and you'd like to give an answer that suddenly is going to make them go back to being happy. Grief is an experience you need to help them go through because they are going to go through it.
They are.
And it's better for the parent to help them go through it.
So that's right.
I think that's great.
Yep. Okay.